Happy Homebrew Wednesday. How you doing, guys? This is a glass that was sent to me from a viewer quite a while ago, actually. And he also sent me some beer to try, which was home brew, but it was gluten-free beer that he made. Him and his wife can't tolerate gluten, so they figured out a way to make homebrew beer that's gluten-free, but it tastes much better than the gluten-free beer that you can buy. And I did a review on that beer, and it's on video. I'm going to be posting that real soon. So watch out for that. I should have already, it's been a while since he sent it to me, so I'm kind of behind on that. But so stay tuned for that. I'm just drinking a Mexican cerveza, and I just wanted to throw this up real quick because I know I'm behind. I'm late on my Homebrew Wednesday video this week, and I do apologize for that. But let's get right in and bite into the topics that I want to cover this week, okay? The first thing I want to cover is methanol, which is a type of alcohol that is poison, that people worry about this. They worry about if they brew beer or wine or things. I think we got a question last week in the comments. He asked, he was thinking about brewing beer, and some colleague at work said, you got to be careful of that because you could poison yourself. So he was concerned about that. If I do something wrong, if I do something, what I'm not supposed to do, or, make something slightly different, and am I going to create a poison? Okay, so let's talk about that and clear some of that up. All right. Now, methanol is it's a type of alcohol that's much similar to ethanol, which is the stuff we drink. So ethanol is the good stuff, and methanol with the M is the bad stuff. And the truth of the matter is that usually when you make your own beer and wine and things like that, you're producing like 99.9% ethanol. Okay, so that's the good stuff. You're producing, if any, a very tiny, small amount of methanol, which is the bad stuff. And so there might be, in this glass of beer, there might be maybe a drop, like an eyedropper drop of it, maybe. There might be several drops in a whole 5-gallon batch. It's not enough to harm you. It's like, think of your tap water. There's chlorine in there. They've got some traces of chlorine to keep the water from going rancid when it's on its way to your house. And you can't drink pure chlorine. It'll rip your insides apart. But, they put a small amount, I'm sorry, I've got allergies, a small amount in the water, and it doesn't hurt you. It just goes right through your body. So it's the same idea. When you're brewing beer, when you're brewing wine, and just fermenting stuff and then, drinking it, you really there's no risk of creating pure methanol that can hurt you. Methanol, if you drink it in like a shot glass of it, could make you blind. And a little bit more than that, you can die from it. So that's why people are concerned about it. And I can totally understand the fear factor out there, because there's a lot of mythology and people don't really understand. They heard something and they, so the concern is that, there is a way that you can poison yourself with your home brew, and that is if you distill. So that means you have to ferment something into alcohol, and then you have to take that and put it through a distilling process, which will basically separate or extract the alcohol out of solution. So you'll get pure, almost pure, or very much stronger alcohol than what was already originally in the original solution. So let's say you ferment some wine, you make some 12% wine, red wine, and then you put that into a distiller, and the distiller heats it up. Okay, now the temperature of water boils at a temperature of 100 degrees Celsius. alcohol evaporates at a lower temperature than that. So what happens is that when you get your temperature starts to rise, the alcohol will start to evaporate and produce steam and go through the tubing and through the condenser, and it'll come out as a liquid again. The water has not started to evaporate yet, so it's still sitting in the still. And that's how you're able to extract the alcohol from, the water. And instead of 12% alcohol, now you've got 40% alcohol or whatever. And actually what that's called is sherry. When you distill wine, you get sherry. So, and people, make these spirits out of, they ferment something and they get 20% alcohol. Then they distill that. They end up with 40% alcohol. Then they add their flavorings to that. Make rum and whiskey and everything else. So, the thing is that you've got, your ethanol, which is the safe alcohol, which is the majority of it, what you've fermented out. And you've got a small amount of methanol, which is the bad stuff. And the methanol evaporates at a lower temperature than the ethanol does. So when you've got your still all set up, you start, heating it up. The first runnings that you're going to get, what they call the heads, that's going to be methanol, because that's what's going to evaporate first. Okay, so you might get a couple shot glasses full of that, and people who distill their own spirits, they throw that away, because if you drink that, that's when you're going to run into some major problems. Okay, so if you didn't know that and you were excited and you started distilling some spirits, and the first glass you got, you're like, oh, I gotta try this. Next thing you know, you're blind, and perhaps you're in the hospital dying. So that's where it gets complicated. So you got to know what you're doing if you're distilling. And I know people who do. As a matter of fact, our good friend Steve James Barr, he knows how to do it. And in his country, it's legal to distill spirits. And so he's been doing it for quite a long time, and he's very good at it. And he's actually sent me some bottles of it and some small samples. And boy, oh my God, were they ever good. So he's got it down, and he knows a lot about it. If you really want to know about distilling and things like that, you want to visit Steve James Barr's channel on YouTube, Steve James Barr, Barr. I believe that's his channel's name. I know that's his name on JTV. So that's where you got to be careful, and that's why it's illegal in most countries, because it's not really safe. If you don't know what you're doing, you can kill yourself. Yeah. So I think that's a good reason to make it illegal, because it wouldn't be that hard for somebody to not know about that, and they would just start tasting their first runnings and they hurt themselves very badly. So that's the story behind methanol as far as home brewing goes. There's all kinds of information on the internet and Wikipedia and all that, about methanol and what it is and how it works and whatnot. But that's how it relates to home brewing. You don't have to worry about it when it comes to making yourself beer or wine. Okay? You're getting a tiny, tiny bit. It's not hurting you. I used to think that, they don't want you to distill your own spirits because they want you to buy it, and, they want you to pay the taxes on it, and, that whole thing. But they do let us brew our own beer and our own wine and stuff like that. So I don't think it's that as much as it is dangerous. And if you know what you're doing, you can make some good stuff. But if you're going to distill and make your own spirits, God, do your research before you jump in and do that, because you can, it's potential there to hurt yourself pretty bad. Okay? As you can see, I've gotten rid of the handheld microphone. It seems like the consensus was that although it sounded pretty good, it was a distraction, and we felt like we were in a lounge. And to tell you the truth, I didn't really feel comfortable with it either. The reason why I don't use the lapel mic is because it's wireless, so I have to put it on, and I have to clip the transmitter on to my belt or my pants, and then the receiver has to be plugged in, and then set up somewhere with the antennas, and then it has to be plugged into my camera. And sometimes, because I've got so many fluorescent lights in here, sometimes I get static. I don't know until after I'm done the video, and I'm like, oh, I got a static in there. It's like, so it's too cumbersome to set up every week and do. I don't mind wearing it when I'm doing a serious, homebrew video or a cooking or whatever. But for these quick Wednesday blogs, I'm just going to use the camera mic. That's what we've decided. Okay. Now, on to the next thing. I was in Homebrew Talk forum today, and I came across a post that the guy said, I bought a beer kit. I'm going to do my first, homebrew kit. And it came with, it might have even been, I don't know, it was probably like a Cooper's microbrew or a DIY or something like that. It came with all the stuff you needed. And he said it came with this is his words, this crappy syrupy stuff. And he said, it says there not to boil it. Just throw it in your fermenter and put hot water and then top it up and you're good to go. He says, but I've gone on YouTube and I've seen people boiling these beer kits. Whoops. I think he might have watched one of my videos. My old ones when I did used to bring them to a boil. But only for a minute. It wasn't that big of a deal. And he said, so I don't know what to do. And so somebody posted a response and said, yes, absolutely, you should definitely boil it. Wrong. You do not boil those beer kits. Now, when I did it, I brought it just to the boil and I shut it off. Okay? That's not so bad. But this guy was saying, no, you got to boil them. You got to bring them to boil and boil them, And that's wrong. I should go back to that post, that thread and post in there. I don't post in Homebrew Talk forum or any forum really. I consider this my forum, really, what we do here. And I should go back and maybe correct that thread. And you're not supposed to boil those beer kits, because what happens when you do boil them, you kill the hops. You kill the hop aromas and flavors that are in there. They've already boiled them. Like you see Cooper's or whatever, they've already boiled it. They've already done everything. They've got the hops additions in there. They've, and they've cooled it and condensed it into an extract that you can take and rehydrate and make into beer. Picture yourself making an all-grain batch of beer, okay, and cooling the wort. You've got your hop additions in there, and you boiled it for an hour. Everything's all nice and balanced. You've cooled the wort. You've put it in a sanitized container of some sort, and then you've given it to somebody and said, okay, here's your extract. Go to town. And they take that and they bring it back to the boil again, and they kill off all your hops, and everything's, ruined now because it's been boiled again, and you've lost all your flavor. So, no, absolutely not. Do not boil those beer kits. They're already sanitized. Just add them to your fermenter and add your whatever else you're putting in there in your water. And that's it. I have a video coming up. I've actually shot, this beer here is actually a little undercarbonated, so I will fix that, but is a Mexican cerveza, and I actually made that beer live on a broadcast on Justin TV. One night I was just messing around back in my brewing area, and I thought, well, why don't I just throw up a camera and, go live and let people watch and chat and whatnot. So during that, I actually filmed a homebrew, easy home brewing video, which will be posted very, very soon. I'm almost done editing it. And it's a easy home brewing thing, Mexican cerveza, back to basics kind of brew. And you'll see, and I'm drinking this right now, and although it's undercarbonated and has a little lacking in the head department, it's delicious. And once I get the carbonation up, just a little bit, it'll be great. And I'll do a review on it for the end of that video. So that's, you've got to be careful. You go into a forum, you ask a question, and you get an answer that's wrong. It can happen. So, unfortunately, you know, people, some of these guys probably never even brewed a beer kit before like this. So they're just thinking, okay, it's malt extract, you got to boil it. Because, you know, the bulk extract that you buy, yeah, you do have to boil that stuff. You got to, you know, sanitize it and boil it. Because they take it out of a big, you know, a big thing. They give you a container full of it and boom, there you go. It's been exposed to the air and everything. You do have to boil that. But there's no hops in there. Excuse me. These ones, no, ever. Don't ever boil a Cooper's or a pre-hopped beer kit like that. I mean, unless you're doing something to it, like adding, I don't know, hops to it or something. I have no idea, but normally you don't boil them. And you do have to be careful when you go out there and get some information, because you can get misinformed, even from experienced guys who've been doing it for a long time. I'm probably guilty of it. I'm probably guilty of it myself, of answering a question and then later on going, oh shit, I think I might have been wrong about that. We all do it. So, right, so that's the two topics I wanted to cover this week. And just a quick update for you. I'm not sure I can broadcast this Friday on Justin TV. It's the 16th of August, I believe. I think. 16th, 17th? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Somewhere in there. And because I have a lot of things to do on Saturday this weekend. And so for me to sit up all night and get drunk on like broadcasts and then, you know, get up and do stuff, it's just, I can't. I might be able to broadcast for a little while, but for the most part, I'm probably looking at taking a week off this week. So I'll let you know. And if I can't broadcast, then we'll get someone else in there who can do it in my place. And so that you've got somewhere to hang out on Friday night. We got to have our JTV Friday night broadcasts. Oh, yes. Or 7 Saturday night runs and Sunday night ones, too. Yes, and, you know, it's a safe way to party and have a few beers with some friends and listen to some great tunes. And you don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to worry about driving. And you're drinking cheap beer. So that's the good part about it. So I'll let you know about Friday. I am going camping in the next little while, so I'll be shooting some video out there. Hopefully it's got some substance to it. I don't know what's going to happen. Nothing. You know, you're camping. What do you know? What else is there to do? But we'll see. And I don't have internet access out there, so I won't be in contact with anybody online for a few days. But that's in the future, a little while. Not too long from the future. I don't usually announce when I'm going somewhere like that, because you never know. But it's within the next couple weeks. We're going out there and we're gonna camp and have a great time, drink some beer. Well, guys, thank you for watching. That's it for me. Gonna leave you some time to go watch some other Homebrew Wednesday videos. There's lots of them out there these days. It's a beer blog for a Wednesday. Thank you to S.J. Poor for providing us with this idea. And I'm going to finish my home brew. I'm going to go cook some supper and have a couple more beers, have a nice shave, and I'm going to bed. I'm tired. So cheers, be safe. I'll see you real soon. Craig's Kitchen. Easy home brewing video. I've got editing as well. And those will all be available soon. I'm sorry. I have been busy this summer, I will admit. With just things around the house. And, you know, if you're an editor and a video producer, you know how long it takes to get these videos online. If you're going to do a decent job at them, it takes a while. And so I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to keep on trucking here. I just have been busy. So I do apologize for that. Anyway, cheers. Take care. Be safe. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.